Hey guys, Masterkid's back with some Borderlands on the PC for you again, and you can see this is a save game that I made in the previous video, and I thought that something I am renowned for, I suppose, on Twitch TV is doing treasure room runs in Borderlands 2, which is something I just enjoy, getting in there, cracking open chests and seeing whether you get a legendary or something really rare. So I thought I'd never done a General Knoxx Armoury run on Borderlands 1 on my channel at all, and I thought, well, why don't I go and try and do one? And for people that haven't seen it, I think they're going to be amazed at how many chests are in here. There's nothing like this in Borderlands 2. There's over 100 chests in this location. I do use a bit of a glitch to get in there, but that's neither here nor there. The game's fairly old now, and it's still a bit of fun to come back and do this. So for anyone that doesn't want to see it and wants to play Borderlands 1, this is the very end of the DLC, and this is something that is usually timed. It is a huge, big sort of armory you're supposed to raid. So if you don't want to see it, tune out now. But for everyone else, let's see how we go. Usually what you do here is you would run down, and what would happen is it'd start a timer, and then it lets you run around and try and get as much stuff as you possibly can before the timer runs out. But what you can do is, there's actually a bit of a glitch here where you can fall through the floor, and you can access this place without activating the timer. So you can see the timer there is frozen. So now we have free reign over this place, and we can just run around and crack chests for days. So I think what I might talk a little bit about in this video is like games that I'm looking forward to coming out. I mean, this is going to be a big year for gaming, probably one of the biggest years for gaming we've had for a long time, with the release of the new systems, which it's kind of in the back of my mind that I bought the Xbox One, and I'm thinking I could have waited so long. I could have waited and bought the Xbox One maybe when Titanfall came out, instead of buying it when midnight. I went and picked up the Xbox One when it first came out. But now, I mean, there was a period there where it sat for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I didn't even turn the thing on. The only games I own for it are Forza Motorsport. I've got Dead Rising, which we played through and we're pretty much all done with. I went out and picked up Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which I haven't even played on any system, any platform yet, and I bought it on the Xbox One. I still haven't even taken it out of the plastic. I think that it's going to end up being at the bottom of the pile, especially with games like Titanfall coming out, and that is something that I'm genuinely looking forward to now that I've actually seen a bit of the footage from people playing it and enjoying it, and I'm thinking, man, that's looking pretty decent. I think a lot of people were upset that it was 6-on-6 sort of squad based. A lot of people didn't like that, but from what I've seen, it looks like it is still going to play quite frantically, and it's going to feel like there's a lot of people playing, especially when the map design is very good. That's something that is going to be the turning point, I think. If the map design is really good and they flow well, I think it's going to be difficult to actually tell that it's only 6-on-6. It's going to feel frantic, and especially because you're going to have like these giant crazy mechs in there as well. I mean, that's going to add a whole nother element. But something that I think that most excites me about Titanfall, I think, is the fact that it's one of the first games in recent memory, I think. There's probably other games I haven't played that have tried it, but it's the first game in recent memory where it tries to change one of the key or the core elements of an FPS, and that's your movement. When you think of an FPS, you think, what is the same throughout most games? It's what I'm doing now. You walk around and you jump. It's generally a very linear thing. That's about it. And the fact that Titanfall is going to try and change that up to actually make movement a part of the game brings me back to I talked about it on a live stream a while ago, and it brings me back to the days where I used to play a lot of Quake. And for anybody that plays Quake knows that movement through the maps was the key to being a strong player. There is a lot of games you can play where you can just have very phenomenal aim, but you can still be outmaneuvered and outsmarted by a player that knows how to move well through the maps. And that looks like it's something they're trying to bring to Titanfall, and I think that is something I'm really looking forward to. Again, I'll just pause for a second. I can't believe we haven't got a legendary yet, man. You generally get millions of legendaries already, so we haven't got nothing. That's not bad. I'll leave that though. But yeah, like, I played a lot of competitive Quake for years and years and years and years, and being able to correctly strafe jump and chain jumps together to maintain speed throughout the map, being able to complete like more technical jumps that would allow you to get weapons faster, being able to maneuver and outmaneuver players that couldn't move like you was a huge advantage if you'd put in the time and learned the movement. And I think if Titanfall is going to have some subtle, maybe some meta game to it, where maybe on the surface it looks like basically at the moment you've got like a jetpack on your character. So you think about FPS, you're moving around, jumping, but it looks like using the jets you can jump, you can run along walls, you can get like a bit of a speed boost, and almost double jump. It looks like when you're actually just sort of on the ground, it looks like you can just double jump. But I don't know whether that's going to be more technical as well, because a lot of games, like I said with Quake, strafe jumping was something that people discovered through playing the game. And if Titanfall has these subtle little changes that you may be able to exploit to move faster. Well, there's a legendary detonating Cobra. So that is the origin of the Cobra from Borderlands 2. It isn't pink and it doesn't have a rabbit on it, but there you go. But yeah, very excited for Titanfall, man. Just the fact that something is going to be so different. I think it's going to be really interesting to see. There are a few leaked videos out there at the moment because the alpha, like the private alpha, was on, and a few people decided to leak some videos. So I did watch a couple of those. I didn't want to watch too much to spoil it, but from what I saw, it looks fairly solid. The combat looks good, and the movement. Like I really wanted to focus on watching how people move through the maps, and that was something that I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to have to get into this. One of the biggest things, is that I thought that might have been an Anarchy Thumper. Got to look for them Anarchies, man. They're good weapons. One of the things that I really wanted to get it on PC because I believe it actually runs on the Source engine, which is the same engine made for like Half-Life and things like that, the Source engine that Valve created. And you get extremely good frame rates with that engine on PC. Very solid frame rates. But the community, I think, in part and probably en masse as well, is going to be on the Xbox One. So I think if you want to have that competitive field, if you want to have the best experience, I think getting it on Xbox One is going to be the way to go. So I think that's where I'll pick up the game and get into it. But yeah, very excited for that. I think when I'm trying to think, that comes out, and I think Dark Souls comes out at around, is that better than the one I've got? Let me have a look. I'm always, even though I've had most of this gear for years and years, I'm always on the lookout for better stuff. 1983 250. Wow, that is better, man. All right. Oh, damn it. All right. I didn't plan this very well, did I? All right, can I drop something? Let me drop this. There you go. And give me this. Yes, better shield. All right. Oh man, it's been years since I picked up stuff. Actually, I did play the other day, but I ruined the save game. I had some new weapons that I'd farmed up. Actually, had a new double Anarchy, a couple of new bits and pieces, a good new class mod I was spewing to lose as well. But I ended up messing that save game up by doing something stupid. So now I'm back to my default save game, which isn't a problem. But anyway, but yeah, I think the same time or around the same time that Titanfall comes out, I think Dark Souls 2 is out around the same time, I think. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to play Dark Souls 2. I'd love to do a Let's Play like I did of the first Dark Souls. It's just whether I'm going to have the time to set aside to do it. I mean, I'd love to just absolutely smash into it and just do like video after video after video. 2362. But we'll see how we go. Very much looking forward to playing Dark Souls 2, especially with a lot of the new mechanics. I did get into the beta on the PlayStation 3 on one of the occasions, so I have played the game, and it still feels like Dark Souls, but it does feel very different. It's, again, I don't know whether it's going to be much different in the final release of the game. Caustic Thumper. Trouble with the Thumpers, though, they do good damage, but it got really low fire rate. 2.8 is really slow for an SMG. Yeah, I don't know whether the core game, like when it actually gets released, is going to be much different from the beta. Hopefully it is. There are a few things that probably could have been improved, and I think that's the reason for the beta. It comes out so people can give the feedback, but definitely looking forward to some Dark Souls 2. And then I think towards the end of the year, I think Destiny is going to be the one that just changes gaming. It changes gaming forever. I think if it can live up to the hype, it's going to be huge. I mean, especially if it has some sort of mechanics that can carry over from Borderlands 2 in the way that it has a loot system, and especially like I'm not sure exactly how many players are going to be like capped out to how many you can have in a server at one time, but it's looking like you can just have stacks and stacks of people playing, and I think all the loot is instanced as well, so there's no ninja looting anymore, so I believe that's how it works. I don't have solid details. Again, not many people have solid details because the game's so far away, but I think instance loot would be like if you were to beat a boss, the boss would drop unique items, and say Borderlands 2, if you go in and take Hyperius for example, if you had a team of 4, you beat Hyperius, he drops 1 Norfleet, you have to share that Norfleet between 4 people. I think with instance loot, as far as I understand, if you defeat a boss, defeat a tough area in Destiny, your loot should be instance per player, which means that something will fall on the ground for each player, and it won't necessarily just be a universal drop. It's kind of hard to explain, but it basically means there will be unique loot for everybody upon completing an area or beating a boss. Again, I think that's how it works. Not entirely sure, but if that is how it ends up working, that's going to be fantastic. That's not a bad fire rate. Let me have a look. Like I said, most of my gear is ancient. See, mine's got a much better fire rate, 12.5. I got a monster there. Or are you gonna stay there, fella? Legendary. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all comes together, and the fact that I think a lot of games companies look over the fact that, or I should say, a lot of companies have lost sight of a very, very powerful thing in video games, and that is bragging rights. Bragging rights in video games is a very, very powerful motivator for other people to play, especially in multiplayer games when you can have something that nobody else has. That's a very, very powerful tool. And from what I've seen with what they want to do with Destiny is, I think the tagline, it's like Destiny, become legends. So it's going to be like you'll see players, and because it's like it's a multiplayer system where people can just drop in and drop out. So you could be basically playing single player, I think, and you could just stumble across a squad of players taking on a boss, and you can opt to either watch or you can opt to jump in and help. The become legend tag is you'll see players have a certain piece of armor on, or you'll see, oh, that's a volcano, I think. Distant volcano. Yeah, you'll see someone with a specific piece of armor on, or maybe using a specific weapon, and you'll go, okay, I know what he had to do to get that. That dude's a monster. That dude's a badass. Like, you'll see gear, and especially if it's gear that you know is almost impossible to get for a normal player, for someone that doesn't put in the time or doesn't have the skill to go and get that particular item. That's very powerful in a game, especially in a game. That was one of the reasons I hated duping in Borderlands 2 when it first came out, because it takes away the... what's that? Oh, another Orion. I think mine... I've got a pretty mean one, actually. Yeah, 895 and 2.7. My Orion's a monster. I believe I got this in the treasure room as well. You can stay there, fella. But, lost my train of thought there, talking about the Orion. Anyway, yeah, with Destiny and bragging, right? Yeah, I was a bit sort of jaded at duping in Borderlands 2 at the start, because when the game's fresh, you want to sort of have that rarity of the items so that someone sees what you're using, they're like, man, what is that thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sort of takes away the mysticism, and it takes away the bragging rights of the player. Sharing is great, to be able to dupe and share. That's not really a problem. But again, I would have loved there to be maybe a certain tier of weapons that could not be duped in Borderlands 2. So if you did have one, it was truly a rare item, instead of something that everybody could get their hands on. And I think Destiny looks like it's going to work like that. You'll see players out there that are rocking that armor, rocking them weapons, and you'll know where they got them. Or in some instances, you'll be like, I don't know where he got that, but I have to go and find out. The dude will just be flooded with messages like, bro, I need to know where you got that hat, where you got that armor, where you got those leggings, you know what I mean? It's really gonna add another level of mystique and bragging rights to the game, which is something, like I said, is incredibly powerful, especially for online games where there are other people in there playing. Man, this, honestly, for a treasure room run that I'm doing right now, this has probably been one of the worst I've ever done. Generally, you'll do this and you will just get stacks of legendaries. Again, I don't really do it for legendaries much anymore because I've got a really, really nice kit. Because I basically farmed so much in the first Borderlands. Colossus and myself played it like religiously for a long time. But, oh yeah, Colossus actually said that he will play the Claptrap Robo Revolution DLC with me on the PC. He ended up getting his save game across. I haven't seen one of those for ages, man. Really enlightening. Crazy looking thing. So they turned into the E-Tech weapons in Borderlands 2. Much, much better looking, and they're not very useful in this, but they're really, really crazy how they work. But yeah, Colossus is keen to play that DLC. Like I said, we'd never played it. We played through everything else, so it's going to be basically like going back and playing some fresh content and seeing how that goes. So looking forward to that. Not sure when we can do it. It's basically going to be whenever our times can line up. Colossus works night shift, so it makes it difficult for us to line up our times. BLR Firehawk. Something you might also notice is some of the legendaries have a different color grading. You can get yellow legendaries, and you can also get dark orange legendaries depending on their rarity and their quality. Oh man, I got that indigestion. I ate some fish just before. It was good, but disagreed with me. Alright, let's keep cracking these and see if we can get anything. Yeah, for what I farm for now, I really want to see a pearl. I think I've seen probably 3 pearls in this treasure room. It's not really a treasure room. They used to call it the farmery. I think I've seen 3 pearls in total in this room. And it's, if you are to get a pearl in Borderlands 1, I think I said it in the previous video, I can't even describe how rare it is. It's an incredibly rare occurrence to get pearls. There are dudes that put years into this game and never saw one. There are guys that farmed this room thousands of times and never got one. I think the first one we ever saw was a story I told about Colossus, actually. I'd been doing this solo for a while, hitting it, the treasure room, hitting it, and then I told Colossus, I said, oh man, there's this cool way to glitch into the armory at the end, and you can actually get a lot of weapons if you want to join me. And he's like, oh yeah, so I invited him in, and the very first run he was in on, he ended up getting the first Pearlescent I'd ever seen. He got a really nice Cobalt Tsunami, which is something that didn't make it into Borderlands 2. Very, very cool weapon though. Crux. But yeah, he ended up getting the very first Pearlescent, so I let him keep it though. I did have it. I think I had it for... They're not bad. That's like a Norfleet, man. Old beast Norfleet. I ended up keeping it for a couple of days, actually. I just wanted to use it and test it out. And I ended up giving it back to him because he did crack the chest that had it in it. And I was like, all right, man. All right, you can have it. So I believe he's still got it now. So if we play the Claptrap, I'll have to actually get him to either drop it so I can show it to you. Or if he records, I'm sure he'll record as well. You can see it in this video. But yeah, he's got that really nice Cobalt Tsunami, which is better than anything I ever found. I found a... Oh, I can't remember what they're called. I think they might be called a Reaper. They're a rocket launcher, a Pearlescent rocket launcher, maybe a Reaper. Undertaker. I think it might have been called an Undertaker, maybe. I don't know. It was about 100 years ago. But yeah, I think I found 2 of those, and I think I found a something else. It was whatever's in my inventory. That thing, the Serpents. So I got a Serpents there. So incredibly rare to get it. It is really, like, I can't stress it enough how hard they are to get. That's an Omega that I got from Cormorax. I probably did 1,000 runs on Cormorax before I got a single Pearlescent. Another thing that's just incredibly rare to get. So, but that's about it. That's my Pearl history, and I have put a lot of time into this game. Oh, Hellfire there. 178, that's not too bad. the stinger. Alright, now this is debatable. What I tried to do the other day was go to these chests, and I can't remember where the point triggered, because if you go too far, what happens is the doors lock and you can't glitch back into this place. So I'll see anyway, because I can always rewrite over this save game. Alright, see, that's it. So I can't go into this room. People were telling me in a live stream a while ago, they said, oh, you can go into this room, man, just go into this room. And I said no, because what happens when you go into this room is it ruins the save game, so you can't actually fall through the floor. There is another way to get in where you have to pile up health packs and jump over them, which is extremely convoluted, but yeah, it looks like you cannot go into here whatsoever. So these chests off limits. So what I have to do now is I'm going to have to scrap this save game and like reload the backed up one. So you cannot go in there. So I don't know if people were trying to troll me in the live stream the other day, but this save game now ruined, so I can't get back in here. Anyway, bit of a rambling commentary there. I just thought I'd do a bit of a run. I have no idea how long that was. 21 minutes! Oh my god! Alright, anyway. Yeah, definitely going to go ahead with the Borderlands 1 playthrough of the Claptrap DLC with Colossus. Like I said, just got to get a time where we can sit down and smash through it. Looking forward to some Titanfall. Definitely going to try and get into some of that. Maybe post some videos. We'll see how we go. Dark Souls 2, 100%. Going to see if I can post some videos, but I'll definitely be playing it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this completely out of the blue random commentary I just decided to fire off for you. And if you have any games you're looking forward to this year, let me know in the comments. Is there anything that is maybe obscure that I might not know about, or something you're looking forward to that I might not know about? Let me know and I might check it out. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and until the next video, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out either one of those videos on the screen right now. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them below and I'll get around to them when I can. Thanks again, and until the next video, we'll see you later.